You're not going down there. Gotta get my spanner back.
What's up, lore masters? When you think of Star Trek, what comes to mind? Is it the exploration of brave new worlds and the discovery of new civilizations? A universe where technology and reason reign supreme? That's the image many of us have, but when you start piecing together all the series, you find something much deeper and much stranger. Star Trek isn't just a universe, it's a multiverse, a complex tapestry of fantastical elements, alternate realities, and a touch of space magic. Believe it or not, this isn't something that started with a new series. Let's just get into it.
Captain's log, stardate unknown. During an ion storm, my landing party is beamed back to the Enterprise and found it and the personnel aboard changed. The ship is subtly altered physically. Behavior and discipline has become brutal, savage.
The first hint at a multiverse in Star Trek appeared in the original series episode Mirror Mirror. This iconic episode introduced us to the Mirror Universe, a reality where the entirety of it was different. The officers of the Terran Empire weren't just our beloved characters with different uniforms, they were fundamentally altered by their environment, showing that it's not just people, but events that shape everything that happens. This idea that nurture can override nature is a chilling thought, especially when you consider the so-called evil characters in the Mirror Universe are essentially the same as our Prime Timeline characters, they just made different choices based on what was presented.
I was as close to her as I am to you. She cannot be an imposter.
But she is.
What is going on here?
The concept of the Mirror Universe was also revisited in Deep Space Nine with the episode Crossover. This time, we're in the 24th century and the Terran Empire has fallen, with humans scattered and enslaved by other major powers. The expansion of the Mirror Universe shows how alternate realities can evolve, taking the seeds planted from the original and growing them into something far more complex.
What is it?
Their ship seems to be trapped in some sort of spatial flux.
Voyager brought its own spin to the multiverse idea as well, though I guess you could argue maybe it's a multiverse, maybe it's not. I'm specifically talking about the episode Deadlock. While it didn't show a different universe per se, it depicted Voyager splitting into two versions of itself, each existing simultaneously. This episode demonstrated that multiple versions of the same reality could exist, even within the same timeline, at least temporarily. It's a fascinating glimpse into how fragile reality can be and how easily it can splinter. Perhaps the series that delved deepest into the multiverse concept, without entirely redefining it, is that of Star Trek Enterprise.
It seems to use the same organic circuitry as the rest of the ship. Captain, I gotta take you down into that chamber. You're not gonna believe your eyes.
Bigger on the inside.
And to clarify, I mean Legacy Trek, not the newer series. Those obviously go more in depth. But the episode Future Tense took things a step further, introducing technology that made ships bigger on the inside.
Malcolm? I see it. Good. Means I'm not hallucinating.
How can a ship be bigger on the inside than the outside?
This not only suggested a crossover with Doctor Who, but also expanded our understanding of how temporal mechanics and spatial dimensions could interact in the Star Trek universe. All these examples have hinted at the multiverse, but the episode that truly canonized it was in The Next Generation.
I believe the quantum fissure we discovered is a fixed point across the space-time continuum, a keyhole which intersects many other quantum realities.
What do you mean, quantum realities?
For any event, there is an infinite number of possible outcomes. Our choices determine which outcomes will follow. But there is a theory in quantum physics that all possibilities that can happen do happen in alternate quantum realities.
Specifically, I'm talking about parallels. The episode introduced the concept of super time, where every possible action creates a new reality. It was honestly a game changer, suggesting that every decision made by Starfleet officers, civilians, I mean really everyone, creates a new universe.
Then came the illusion of free will. And with that illusion came chaos. With every choice we make, we literally create a world. History branches in two.
There's a universe where Picard didn't survive the Borg, one where Wesley Crusher never existed, and even one where Deanna Troi wasn't just a counselor that bounced on people's laps, but a competent starship pilot. Parallels took the multiverse from a speculative idea to a core part of Star Trek canon. What I find particularly ironic is how the Discovery-era series, the new ones, embraced and celebrated this multiverse concept.
There's the Prime universe we're in right now. There's the Mirror universe, the Narada incursion, fluidic space, the mycelial plane. You're not supposed to know about that. Okay, forget I said anything about that. It doesn't exist. But all of it together, it forms a grand tapestry. It is exquisite but fragile.
Whether you like them or not, these shows lean heavily on the original series to expand Star Trek itself. A prime example is an episode from Star Trek Prodigy. While not my favorite series, it brilliantly ties together the various threads of the Star Trek multiverse. The writers acted like true lore masters, bringing coherence to what could have been seen as plot holes or inconsistencies. So, what does all this mean? Star Trek isn't just a universe driven by technology and logic. It's a multiverse filled with fantasy, space magic, and endless possibilities. It's closer to Doctor Who than Stargate, and that's curious. Personally, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I've always viewed Trek as a blend of tech, space magic, and a bit of space Jesus, but now it seems to embrace a more fantastical approach. At least that's what I've seen. So, Lore Masters, what do you think? Has Star Trek become a tech-focused version of Doctor Who, or do you prefer the way it was originally perceived? Let's get the discussion started in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, and as always, I'll see you on the next. She just wants to play her game. She doesn't want to do this anymore. Not honestly, I feel like, the magic is just fading away. All alone.